I'm Ingamaría, and this is Iceland News Review. Today, we're going to talk about a new eruption, a new guest in the Northeast, a miraculous rescue, and so much more. Björgunarsveit Þorbjörn, the Grindavík SAR team, has returned home after 8 months absence. The team reportedly relocated to nearby towns of Njarðvík, but has announced their return to Grindavík in social media. 30 members of the all volunteers assisted in moving, organizing, and preparing for the new operation last night. The notification stated, after 8 months absence, the members of Grindavík SIR team have returned to their house in Grindavík. Following the evacuation in November last year, it was decided to move the team's headquarters to Reykjavík to the fire station for just a few days, and then to Stapabraut 1 in Njarðvík, where we've been almost all the equipment since then. So this evening, the 30 members of the team came to move, clean, and reorganize all our equipment and prepare for the next tasks. Scientists are actually predicting that there will be a new eruption in Reykjanes in the coming 3 weeks. And those are actually significant chances that the part of the eruption could happen within Grindavík itself. According to a new report from Iceland Met Office, the magma can continue to accumulate in the magma chamber under the Svartsengi region of Reykjanes. 13 million cubic meters is the lower limit of the amount of magma needed to generate enough pressure to cause an eruption. The upper limit is around 19 million cubic meters. That's comparable to about 20 million cubic meters of magma that was within the chamber within the previous eruption, which began on May 29th, and that eruption ended on June 22nd. All this being the case, scientists believe that if accumulation continues in the current rate, we could be seeing a new eruption within the next 3 weeks. That's exciting. Rescue workers have described it as a miracle that a woman that went missing for about 36 hours after going into water in Reykjavík harbour has been rescued alive. She's currently in hospital, but her conditions are unknown during the time of this writing. The woman in question went into the water north of Reykjavík from Grandi and the west side of the town. From there, she swam to Engey, a small uninhabited island about a kilometer north of Reykjavík. And in the meantime, there were dozens of rescue workers who searched for the woman. But while she was resting in Engey, she attempted to swim back to Reykjavík. She was spotted by a whale watching vessel, so the captain picked her up, sailed her to safety, and now she's resting in the hospital after being missing for about 36 hours. So the NASA research balloon Sunrise 3 actually recently passed over Iceland. It was launched in Kiruna in Sweden on July 10th, and the balloon is en route to Canada. It's part of the 2024 Sweden long-duration scientific balloon campaign. 4 large specific balloons will be launched to Esrange Space Center in Sweden, north of the Arctic Circle. And the balloon is floating nearly 123,000 feet, or 37.490 meters. And they are actually heading towards Canada. So the balloon named Sunrise 3 is a solar observatory that takes high-resolution imagery and in spectropolarimetry layers of the sun called solar photosphere and chromosphere, and active regions measures magnetic field, temperatures, and velocities. Credit has become so expensive in Iceland the general public can't even afford mortgage. So nearly 90% of those who bought real estate in Iceland in the first 6 months were investors of some sort. So since 2021, the percentage of residential housing sold to those who plan to live there has plummeted from 74% down to 13%. Well, in the past decade or so, the price of real estate per square meter in the central area has doubled in price. So the central bank's key interest rate is 9.25% and has been unchanged for nearly a year. Those who are in position to buy residential housing in these conditions are mainly seniors and younger people with, strong support network, and then those who have capital funds and investors, says Sigurður Stefánsson, CEO of Reykjavík, which is a development company that's building apartments for seniors, among other apartments. Sigurður points out that housing demands does not go down, it rather accumulates with greater force. So in the meantime, those who buy housing in Iceland are not families who plan to just buy a roof over their head, but mostly they are investors who plan to rent the place out. The percentage of people who buy an apartment in the whole country for their own use has gone from 74% down to 13%. And that's now come to the point that 87% of those who buy real estate this year, they are investors. So it's clear with this development that 70% of the equity of those who are 65 and older is in real estate. The value of housing in Iceland is 50% higher than the assets of the country's pension funds. Sigurður points out, for the most part, the housing is owned by the general public, but if the current trend continues, the asset space will be transferred from the public to investors, funds, and others who already have their own capital. In an announcement from the Epidemic Committee and Infection Control Department of Landspítali, there are new measures have been introduced to combat rising COVID cases. COVID-19 has recently spread to 8 departments of Landspítali, infecting both patients and staff and causing significant absences. As of July 16th, 32 patients are in isolation across the 3 locations, Lambdagöt, Hringbraut, and Fossvogur. And according to Landspítali, these patients with respiratory viral infections, including COVID-19, will be isolated. So the following measures will take effect. On Landspítali from 8 a.m. on July 17th. There will be mask mandatory in all patient interactions. Staff must wear masks when interacting with patient, outpatient, and all visitors. Hand hygiene. All visitors to the hospital are required to sanitize their hands. And visitor restrictions as well. So visiting hours will be shortened from 5 to 7 p.m. on weekdays and 3 to 6 p.m. on weekends. Children under 12 years old are advised not to visit, and no more than 2 visitors can visit each patient at a time. Biologists have been able to confirm that the northeast Iceland officially has a new visitor. It has the biting midge. And this is not necessarily indicative of an outbreak of the species in the region, but Iceland is actually 100% mosquito-free, so it's been first recorded in Iceland in 2015. And biologist Elínborg S. Pálsdóttir, who lives just outside of Eyjólfsdóttir in Iceland, northeast of Iceland, she sent a sample of the insects to discovered in the Icelandic Institute of National History, who has confirmed that this is actually the biting midge. The good news is, though, that the bite from these insects is not that bad, although they do itch a whole lot. But the easiest thing you can do is just close your window during the nighttime. These insects, they fly inside just to feed during the night. But if you either hold the fan just outside the window, just so that they can fly in, you know, they're so weak, or just close your window, then you're completely safe. So, you guys, that was this week for Iceland news review today. So be sure to visit our website to check more in depth of the stories that we have covered. And please have a beautiful day. Thank you so much.